Welcome into the Commanders Report by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jake Sperry, and today it's time to meet Commanders rookie running back Kaytron Allen that this team drafted in the 6th round of the 2026 NFL Draft. And if you guys want to welcome Katron Allen, otherwise known as Fat Man, to the DMV, you guys can click that thumbs up icon and like today's show. One of the best nicknames you could possibly ask for, in Fat Man is now a part of the Washington Commanders organization. So as always, let's start this player profile off with the pros in what I saw in Katron's film. And the thing that I really like about him is his vision and patience, okay? And he pairs that vision and patience, that ability to kind of see open lanes open up and then exploit that space. He pairs it with really good foot quickness, right? And that acceleration, that agility, to hit that hole and, pick up some good yardage and, pick up those 6, 7 nice yard gains that are blocked up for him. He's very, very good at that. And, that's a very good baseline and sets a really high floor, frankly, for Katron Allen as he heads into the National Football League. I think that he's consistently going to get what's blocked for him, all right? We'll talk about in the cons, he's not going to do a lot of creating and, making people miss and, long runs, explosive home run plays. But, if you block up enough space for him to get, 2 yards, he's going to get 2 yards. If you block up enough space for him to get 6 or 7, he's going to pick up 6 or 7, right? So he's one of those types of running backs, and those types of running backs that are like innings eaters, are very valuable in the National Football League to have in your running back rotation. And another thing I really like about Katron is the ball security. Not a ton of fumbles at Penn State. He's very secure with the football. He's also not a terrible receiving option out of the backfield either. Not a dynamic one, but certainly pretty decent as he heads into his NFL journey here. So those are the 3 things I really like about Katron that he's bringing here to Washington. And I think what he is that he's just a dependable, solid running back. He's going to be coming in here. He's going to, take what the blockers in front of him are going to give him. He's going to find the correct lane. He's not going to leave yards on the table. He's going to be somebody that's very efficient and, picks up the yardage that's kind of given to him by the starting offensive line here in Washington. So coming up here, I'm going to be breaking down the cons to Katron Allen's profile and then my expectations for him as he heads into his rookie season here in D.C. But before we get into the rest of Katron Allen's profile today, let me tell you about today's presenting sponsor, which is Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Playoff basketball is still here, guys, but it won't be around forever, and there's no better place to cash in during playoff season than with our friends at Prize Picks. The app is really easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stat projections and then lock in your lineup. And if basketball isn't your thing, they have a ton of other sports to choose from as well, with a number of different stat projections in each of those sports to truly customize your daily fantasy experience. You can even look ahead to next year's football season. With this particular projection, I'm taking the more on passing yards for Dak Prescott, as well as the more on passing yards for Jaden Daniels, by the way, but I'm also taking the more on rushing yards for Bill Krosky-Merritt and the more on receiving touchdowns for Scary Terry McLaurin. This is what's referred to as a power play on the Prize Picks app, so you got to get all 4 correct to cash in, but if you do so, you get more money cashed out with our friends at Prize Picks. So that for this particular projection, you can come away with $200 with a $20 entry fee if you can get all 4 correct. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app, and a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's edition of the Commanders Report. Now, getting into the cons of running back Katron Allen's profile here, he doesn't have a lot of long speed. All right, he's not going to be breaking big-time, long, home run type of plays like Jeremiah Love or even his Penn State teammate Nick Singleton was capable of. He's just not going to run away from people. All right, that's just not really his thing. He also, pairs that with really a lack of elusiveness. He's not running away from anybody. He's not breaking a lot of tackles, and I think a lack of contact balance, comes into play here, where he's got he's a little bit more of a high cut type of running back with kind of skinnier ankles. So, he's not really built the way that somebody that's going to like move the pile forward or, play as a true power back is really built. So, he's got his limitations as an athlete, but, he was a top 4 ranked running back in this class for me. It was a really bad running back class, by the way. But, he ranked that high because of the vision, because of how secure he is with the football, because he does get the yardage that the offensive line blocks up for him very consistently. He's just not really going to create a whole lot outside of that. Like if there's a tackler that gets behind the line of scrimmage early on, it's not like he's going to make that guy miss and then make a play out of something. He's not that type of player. I don't see a star here. I don't see a future RB1 or a workhorse. I see kind of an innings eater that is NFL ready. Like he's very smart. He's very dependable. He's got a decent size profile, and he can definitely eat some innings at the NFL level. And if you block things up correctly for him and give him some space, he's going to be able to get what you block for him pretty consistently. He's not going to miss holes. He's not going to miss opportunities. And, these types of running backs can be extremely valuable. I mean, just take a look at a guy like J.K. Dobbins, who isn't the fastest guy and he's not the biggest guy and all these different things, but he's been very good as, sometimes even an RB1 in certain teams when he's been healthy as just a pure innings eater and somebody that just plays a good, vision and doesn't fumble a whole lot and, is just a very dependable running back. I think that's the kind of player the Washington Commanders are getting in Kaytron Allen here. And for a 6th round selection in one of the worst running back classes in recent memory, that is an absolute steal, in my opinion, right? Katron is going to be able to come in here, and if they need him to play right away, I think he's going to be able to do that. And if they can continue to build this O-line and build this thing up to be one of the better O-lines in football, Allen can absolutely be a very efficient RB2 type in the Washington Commanders offense, in my opinion. But the question with Katron is, what does his role look like in year 1? Because obviously we do have a pretty decent setup in the running back room already that we'll get to here in a second. But for me, guys, I think, my best guess for Katron is that he's going to be a solid depth piece for the Washington Commanders this year. I don't think that they're going to want to get him immediately into, the starting rotation or anything like that. I don't think they'll have a 3-man running back rotation. I think they will go into the season with a 2-man rotation of Bill Krosky-Merritt as the early down guy and Rachaad White going in there as the passing downs running back. Jeremy McNichols will be more of like the backup to Rachaad White, where if White goes down, McNichols has shown that he's been a very good 3rd down option for this team. But then if Bill Krosky-Merritt goes down, you need someone to eat some of those innings on the early downs, 1st and 2nd down, and pick up those 5, 6, 7-yard gains that are so valuable on 1st downs. Kaytron Allen, I think, is absolutely somebody that's going to be able to do that. So if there's an injury, I like Allen as a depth piece, and I really like the depth that this running back room has here in Washington. I think Bill certainly provides the big playability, kind of that RB1 type of skill set that you hope truly develops and materializes this year. I think Rachaad White is an excellent 3rd down option for this team. Great pass protector. He's got good speed, catches the ball out of the backfield. McNichols is a good backup to that role. And then Kaytron Allen is going to be a great backup to Bill Krosky-Merritt and good insurance in case Bill Krosky-Merritt gets injured or doesn't live up to standards or anything like that. I just think it's a good pickup here, especially for a 6th round pick. Now, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, that makes you a real one. Making it to the end of our shows, really boost the YouTube algorithm because YouTube is saying, hey, these guys are making it to the end of the video. They really enjoyed it. So if you made it to the end today, I want to show you guys some love down there in the comment section. Type those real ones in all caps if you made it to the end of today's player profile. And make sure you guys check out our other entries into our Commanders Rookie Player Profile series where we're taking in-depth looks at all the Commanders rookies. We already have videos on Sonny Styles, Antonio Williams, and Joshua Josephs on the channel. I'll put the chip to the Joshua Josephs video in the top right if you want to check that video out because we have reached the end of today's show here on the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already because we still got a few more rookies to discuss here in terms of the rookie class this year. And then I think we're going to be doing player profiles for the free agent additions that the Commanders made this year because you guys have really been liking these rookie player profiles that we've been doing here on the channel. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Till next time, guys, hail to the Commanders.